September last year, Chris Eubank Jr. put on arguably a career best performance, stopping Liam Smith and avenging his loss that happened in January as well of last year. Avenged that loss, beat Liam Smith. I think he stopped him in 10 rounds. And it seemed like this could be the Indian summer of Eubank Jr.'s career, where he may have a chance to actually do something, where he may be able to go and maybe move on and challenge for a world title, or at the very least get some more big paydays before it's all said and done. Because now he's coming into, he's got to be coming into his mid 30s now. And for a fighter who relied a lot on athleticism, that's not really good to be coming into your mid 30s when your whole game is kind of more about your athletic ability rather than your actual fundamentals. You can't tell, okay, he needs to make hay while the sun is shining now, do something, whatever it is, make money, or get that world title shot against whoever it may be. Done nothing in nearly a year. And Liam Smith, who lost that fight, is now fighting on a Saudi show, even though it's in Wembley Stadium, it's still, run by the Saudis. And is fighting Josh Kelly. That'll be on pay-per-view. He's going to make a lot of money, I would imagine, from that fight. And if he wins it, well, he's put himself right back in contention. And Chris Eubank Jr., I mean, the weirdest part is that his former promoter, Sauerland, who he's now free from, he's been free with them for a couple of months, or I think a little while anyway, a few months anyway, they're helping to promote this show. They're on it with Boxer, Ben Shalom, Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, and obviously Frank Warren and Queensbury. Eubank Jr. is nowhere to be seen. The worst thing is, it's not even that he's not on a show like the Saudi show. He's not even got any fights even talked about. I mean, the fact that I'm even doing a video about him is kind of like, oh yeah, Eubank Jr., forgot about him. Oh, what's happened with him? Nothing. Nothing has happened with him. And it's a weird one because Eubank Jr. was one of those fighters where I never thought he would win a world title. I never thought he was really, truly good enough. But he definitely, certainly when he was a lot younger, he was able to get eyes on him. He was able to get eyes on him just by kind of the trash talk and the perception he was given off that he was a very confident individual. And maybe Eubank Jr. is more confident than the average guy. But when he was in the ring, certainly with the likes of George Groves, he did seem to freeze a lot. Almost like he put too much pressure on himself. And the funny thing is that when you fast forward a couple of years to like the build up to the Conor Ben fight and how he handled it after that, he came across as, the fan favorite almost. And when he stopped being, the arrogant guy, and I think, what was it he said? Didn't he say that he'd make a steak and say, like, I'm going to season it like Conor Ben or something like that? I can't remember the ins and outs, but it was something like that. And people actually, I liked it. I thought it was actually fun. I was like, where's this side of Eubank Jr. that we haven't seen before? It's a shame he didn't be like that earlier on in his career. God knows what he could have done. Certainly with fans and stuff like that. And you're kind of like, okay, there's definitely something that could be done here, and nothing. And again, you go back to 2016, 2017, Eubank Jr. was, I don't want to say he was a household name, but I know for myself, a lot of my friends who would be big time casuals, they'd know the Joshuas, they'd know the Furies, or they knew who Eubank Jr. was. So Eubank Jr. was doing some good moves. He might not have been fighting the best, but he was doing good moves in terms of getting his name out there. He lost to George Groves in 2018 in the semi-finals of the World Boxing Super Series, and that was pretty much it. He did that deal with Al Heyman, PBC, UK. They did one show. There you go. And that was him against James DeGale. He won that fight. He was in the wilderness then again. He fought Matt Korobov in a fight that he looked like that he might very well lose until Korobov got injured. And then out in the wilderness again. Made a comeback with Sauerland on some of those boxer shows. I don't even think he was the headline act on some of them. I think he might have fought on an Eddie Hearn show as well. Didn't he fight Marcus Morrison, on Parker versus Chisora 1? Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But he literally went from, headliner in like the OVO, or Wembley Arena as it was known then, to being on an undercard. And then he finally got himself back in the main event with the wins over the likes of Liam Williams. Conor Ben fight never happened. Fought Liam Smith. And now here we are again. Nothing. What the hell is going on with him? Because I think that now Eubank Jr. has reached a point where it's now or never. As I said, he's not getting any younger. He's got no promoter. There's no mention that he's going to be signing with any other promoter. Maybe GBM, who knows, but they're a very small time organization, no offense, but they are. And he's missing out on some of these Saudi shows. Like, he could be there and he could be either fighting on some of those shows in Saudi Arabia, or he could be on, some of these shows that are happening in the States or in the UK, and he's not. And where the hell is he? What is happening with him? He started training with Bomac after splitting from Roy Jones, and again, nothing. Maybe it's literally nothing. I don't know what's going on with Chris Eubank Jr. And I gotta say it's a shame, because some people would say, well, look, gee, he's never really that good anyway. Is he really gonna do all that much? So is it really a shame? I always did quite like watching him fight. I like the combinations. I like the build up when his dad was there. It could be very funny, because Eubank Senior was great at just trolling people and getting a response, getting a reaction out of people. It was comical to an extent. Certainly when Eubank Jr. was a lot younger and Senior was always there. Whereas now, Eubank Senior, I don't think is part of the team anymore. Don't even know what the team is with Eubank Jr. Is he even still with Bomac? It's a really weird one, the fact that he has just, since that Liam Smith fight, just dropped off I don't want to say the face of the earth, but it seems that way, the boxing face of the earth anyway, because there's no fights talked about, there's none lined up. Is he even looking to challenge for a world title? Is he even in the running to challenge for a world title? Is he even in the conversation to challenge for a world title? Is he even going to stay at 160? Because he's been at this weight now for, 5 years? Haven't come down from 168 pounds. Is he going to go up to 168? Even then, if he does do that, that's not going to get any easier. What exactly is happening with Eubank Jr.? I haven't a clue. I genuinely don't know. I haven't a clue. No promoter, no fights on the horizon, no talk of a world title, no big fights where he can make a lot of money. And, unlike Conor Benn, who has no fights lined up or on the horizon, at least with Conor Benn, you can kind of say, well, we know what the issue is there, and he's still young enough that even if he's out of the ring for another couple of months or a year, it's not really going to, he's 27. Eubank Jr., I think, is 33, 34 years old. Not good. Not good if you're Eubank Jr. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. What do you think has happened with Eubank Jr.? Where do you think he'll go? What do you think he'll do next? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed the video, people. Smash the like button if you could, and subscribe, of course, you haven't already. Peace.